أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالة والله يعصمك من الناس إن الله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين ادعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن إن ربك هو أعلم بمن ضل عن سبيله وهو أعلم بالمهتدين. O Messenger, convey to the people what has been revealed to thee from thy Lord. And if thou do not do this, it is as if you have not conveyed the message altogether. And Allah will protect you from men. Surely Allah does not guide the disbelieving people. ये रसूल अच्छी तरह पहुंचा दे जो तेरे रब की तरफ से तेरी तरफ उतारा गया है, और अगर तूने ऐसा न किया तो गोया तूने इसके पैगाम को नहीं पहुंचाया, और अल्लाह तुझे लोगों से बचाएगा। यकीनन अल्लाह काफिर कौम को हिदायत नहीं देता। और दूसरी जो मैंने आयत पढ़ी है, the second verse which I have recited, the translation is, call unto the way of thy Lord with wisdom and goodly exhortation, and argue them in a way that is best. And surely thy Lord knows best who has strayed from his way, and he knows those who are rightly guided. अपने रब के रास्ते की तरफ हिकमत के साथ और अच्छी नसीहत के साथ दावत दे, और इनसे ऐसी दलील के साथ बहस कर जो बेहतरीन हो। यकीनन तेरा रब ही से जो इसके रास्ते से भटक चुका है सबसे ज़्यादा जानता है, और हदायत वालों का भी सबसे ज़्यादा इल्म रखता है। My dear brothers and my dear sisters, my dear children, Assalamu alaikum. Look at the gigantic task before this small community. To convey the message to the entire world. As the Masih Maud was given that revelation, I shall cause thy message to reach the corners of the earth. And then Hazrat Masih Maud said, every nation will drink of this fountain. And this movement will spread. And this movement will rapidly grow until it will finally encompass the entire world. Many tribulations and obstacles shall come, but God will remove them all. And he will fulfill his promise. And God addressed me saying, I shall grant thee blessings upon blessings, until kings shall seek blessing from thy garments. When we consider the task that is before us, and we consider our meager resources, we consider our small number, and we consider the prophecies that Allah Ta'ala has given to the promised Messiah, which prophecy of Hazrat Masih Maud was not fulfilled that we should ever doubt the fulfillment of this prophecy? 300 years would not pass when this prophecy, inshallah ta'ala, will be fulfilled.
Narae Takbir! Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa! Islam Ahmadiyyat! Islam Ahmadiyyat! Ghulam Ahmad ki!
We obviously...
Narae takbir.
We obviously get upset. Sometimes we become worried. हज़रत मसीह मौद ने फरमाया है, दिल निकल जाता है काबू से ये मुश्किल सोचकर। कितना मुश्किल काम है। ए मेरे जान की पनाह, फौजे मलाइक को उतार। Let the angels of Allah appear on this world. And Hazrat Masih Wasallam also received this revelation. Yansuruka rijalan nuhi ilayhim min as-samai. That people will come and help you, God will reveal to them. You must have heard many of the Friday sermons of Hazur, in which he has explained many incidents where people will guided, God the Almighty, the angels revealed to them. Some of them saw the photo of Hazrat Masih Maud. In the last Friday sermon, Hazur offered the Janazah prayer for one Mr. Abu Bakr from Egypt, who saw the photo of Hazrat Masih Maud on the MTA. And he looked and he said, this is the photo I saw in my dream. This is the man I saw in my dream. So the angels, by the grace of Allah, are working. But we are upset. Hazrat Masih Maud has also said, Bamufti ajr nusrat rada hindat khi varna qadaye asma asi bahar halat shivat paida. Oh my dear brothers, help me in this cause. This is a free gift. Because God the Almighty has ordained that this Jamaat will prosper. This Jamaat will grow and none dare retard its progress. Kataballahu al-aghlibanna ana wa rusuli. I and my apostles will prevail. So my dear brothers and my dear, gigantic task. And the dawn is approaching, and the evening is approaching, and the clock is ticking. 300 years. Over 125 years have already passed. What are our responsibilities? Countless incidents. You open the books of Maulana Mubarak Ahmad Sahib or Khadam Sahib of Gujarat or Maulana Abul Ata Sahib Jalandhari. You will see countless incidents. Which one should I narrate? How many should I narrate? What about Shammas Sahib? Jalaluddin Shammas. And there are many of our young missionaries as well. I thought, why not I should start an incident which happened in my life. Nowadays, traveling from Qadian to Africa, to Sierra Leone, would take up almost about a day at the most. But I am talking of 1945. When I was about 11 years old, maybe 10, 11 years old. And Hazrat Muslim Maud ordered my father, Maulvi Nazir Ahmad Ali. I am hesitant to narrate some of the incidents directly connected with me or with my father. He was a missionary, that he should go to Sierra Leone. The money was not available, and he was to travel by ship and by open truck. So my father, my mother and I traveled from Qadian and went to Sierra Leone. It took about 3 months. Not one day, not 2 days, 3 months. We had to go back by ship to Aden, and from Aden we had to go into the Red Sea, to the port of Sudan. And from Sudan we had to go in an open truck. which traveled for days and days and days. We changed many lorries, many trucks. Sleeping in the Sahara Desert, sleeping on the sand, dirty water, red water, because of the red skin in which the water was contained. No hot food, surviving on old chapatis, bread. This is how we traveled and traveled and traveled until we reached a place called Fort Lamy in Chad. And from there we took a train and went to Lagos. And from Lagos, we were to travel to Freetown. During this journey, long travel, I became very sick. I was a little boy, and I became extremely sick. Probably I had this black water fever, that you start urinating blood in your urine. But my father there was a ship that was available that was going from Lagos to Freetown. And it would take about 7 days. And in those days, the doctor would examine you before you go inside to see if you are fit for traveling. My father passed the medical test. My mother also passed the medical test. But when the doctor examined me, he said, this boy cannot survive. He cannot survive for those 7 days of travel in the ship. And he told my father that we have doubts whether this boy will ever survive. We do not have a cold storage on the ship. We will only allow this boy to travel until you sign on this paper that if he dies, we will have to sink him into the sea. उन्होंने कहा कि ये बच्चा सफर नहीं कर सकता 7 दिन का, हमारे पास कोई कोल्ड स्टोरेज है नहीं। अगर ये मर गया, यहाँ पर दस्तखत करें कि अगर ये मर गया तो उसको समुंदर में फेंकना पड़ेगा। My father was a strong young, was tall, was very thin, but was very strong. You know, in the Bible you see, you hear that Jesus Christ said, if you have an iota of faith, you will ask the mountains to move and they will move. I do not know whether this prophecy was fulfilled in the time of the Mosaic dispensation, but it was definitely fulfilled in the Muhammadan dispensation. He was a rock of determination, a rock of a trust in Allah Ta'ala. When the doctor said this, my father, I remember, said something like this. He said, where do I have to sign? If he dies, throw him into the sea. My mother started crying. My father assured her, Maulana Mubarak ko kuch nahi ho. No, don't worry, nothing will happen to him. And he held my hand and after signing, put me into the ship.
Narae Takbir! Narae Takbir! Hazrat Khatamul Anbiya! Mohsen-e Insaniyat! Narae Takbir!
My dear brothers, my dear daughters, you know, मौत फौत तो इंसान के हाथ में है, अल्लाह ताला के हाथ में है। किसी को बुला लेता है आज, किसी को कल बुला लेगा, जाना तो हर एक ने है। That doctor said I could not survive for 7 days. I not only survived for 7 days, I not only survived for 7 years, but by the grace of Allah, I am standing before you, I have survived more than 70 years. After the doctor said that this boy cannot survive. This is the trust in Allah Ta'ala. And my father repeatedly said that Hazur has asked me to go there as soon as possible. And this is the matter when the battle, the World War has just ended. The World War has just ended in 1944, as you all know. So this was the the determination, and this was a resolve. This was the obedience to Khilafat. And this is how our missionaries, countless missionaries, are working all over the world. I have many instances. Maulana Ahmad Sahib Naseem, those of you who have been in Rabwa might remember that he used to have a jeep, and he used to travel in that jeep, and he used to, it was a very strong, tall person, and he used to put his foot out of the, door, and that is a very strong man indeed. Once a delegation, a non-Ahmadi delegation, came to Rabwa to debate about the ascension of Jesus Christ. वो कहने लगा हज़रत आसमान पे बैठे हैं. The Ahmadis showed them many dozens of, almost a dozen. हो गया साबुत ये 30 आयात से इब्ने मरियम मर गया हक की कसम, दाखिले जन्नत हुआ वो मोहतरम. फिर कहा कि हो गया ये साबित ये 30 आयात से. They showed him many ayat. He said, no, it's not conclusive. It's not conclusive. So they took him to Maulvi Ahmad Khan Sahib Naseem. Maulvi Ahmad Khan Sahib Naseem took a completely different view. And he told the people, those Christians, those people who had come, and those Muslims who had come to say that Jesus Christ is not dead, he is alive, sitting on the right hand of God. And he told the other Muslims that you have come to debate with us. We have shown you countless arguments, but Ahmad Khan Sahib Naseem took a different view. He said there are nearly 25 names of Prophet in the Holy Quran. Do you need the Quranic verses to prove that they are dead? If we cannot prove from the Holy Quran, do you consider that they are sitting at the right hand of God? मौलवी साहब ने कहा एक और जाविये से उनको समझाया कि देखिए कुरान मजीद में तो तकरीबन 25 अंबिया का जिक्र है. क्या उनकी वफात, हर एक की वफात हम कुरान मजीद से साबित करें? और अगर साबित ना कर सकें तो इसका मतलब यह है कि आसमान पर बैठे हुए हैं. You preach with wisdom. And they were dumbfounded, and they said, we do not require. Maulana Ghulam Sahib Rajaki, as I have said earlier, was a very strong person. I have visited him in countless times, and we used to go and sit with him, and we used to talk with him. He has narrated many incidents. There is a big book, Rajik Sahib ke upar 5 jilde hain, huge book. And he said, once I was traveling, and I had to cross the river Chenab, and it was high flood, and we were in a boat, and the boat was about to sink, and people started shouting the name of Al-Bukhari and other saints that will save us. Hazrat Maulvi Sahib told them to stop this, and he prayed to God that, oh Allah, if we are doomed to die, but I have some books of the promised Messiah. मेरे पास कुछ किताबें हैं हज़रत मसीह मौऊद अलैहि सल्लम की लिखी हुई, हम उन कुतुब को लेकर जा रहे हैं. तो वो कहते हैं कि एकदम जो है वो तूफान थम गया और हम वहाँ पर पार कर गए, वो हम महफूज रहे. मौलवी साहब, you must have seen that sometimes when he used to debate, sometimes he used to say that when the people could not answer his questions, he would say, अगर जवाब नहीं दे सकते तो मेरे साथ कुश्ती कर लो, हदीस पे बात कर लो, कुरान मजीद पे बात कर लो, फारसी शायरी पे बात, हदीस किसी बात पे बात कर लो. और जब वो नहीं कर सकते थे, चुप बैठे थे, तो फिर कहते थे अच्छा फिर कुश्ती कर लो. जब फिर भी चुप करके बैठे थे कहते अच्छा फिर कलाई पकड़ लो. I am narrating this so that our missionaries, our Jamaat should also be aware that we should be strong, physically strong as well. Maulana Abulata Jalandhari Sahib, you know, he was a missionary and he was posted in Palestine. Once he had a debate and the people said he has not died, and when the people who had come for the debate, when they became speechless, they said, okay, if he has not died, if he died a natural death, then show us where is his grave. Maulvi Sahib said, this is not the point. The point is he has died. I can't show you the graves of everybody. Show me the grave of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam. But they not said, show us the grave. Where did he die? He said he went from Palestine to Tibet and went to Afghanistan and went to Kashmir, and he died in Kashmir, and in Mahalla Khan Yar, his grave is there. And there was a person sitting over there, one of the parts of the delegation, and he said, how could he go so far? हज़रत मसीह अलैहिस्सलाम इतनी दूर कैसे चले गए? तो एक फ़लस्तीनी अहमदी बैठे हुए थे साथ ही, उन्होंने फ़ौरन कह दिया कि कश्मीर दूर है कि आसमान दूर है? आप कहते हैं कि कश्मीर बहुत दूर है, वो कैसे वहाँ चले गए? तो आसमान नज़दीक है, जो आसमान पर जाके बैठे हुए हैं दाएं हाथ।
नारे तकबीर, हजरत मोहम्मद मुस्तफ़ा, इस्लाम अहमदियत, गुलाम अहमद की, नारे तकबीर।
Maulvi Abulata Sahib, as you all know, was given the title of Khalid bin Walid of Ahmadiyat. Another Khalid, Khadim Hussain Sahib, he was debating with somebody, and the person said, how can Mirza Ghulam Ahmad be the Mahdi? He should be the son of Abdullah. His father should be Abdullah. His name should be Muhammad. His mother's name should be Amina. चौधरी अब्दुल्ला खान साहब वहाँ बैठे हुए थे, चौधरी अब्दुल्ला खान साहब के भाई। चौधरी अब्दुल्ला साहब कहने लगे कि देखें भाई, मेरा नाम अब्दुल्ला है, मेरा एक बेटा है, उसका नाम है मोहम्मद, और उसकी माँ का नाम है आमिना। कुछ देर ठहर जाओ, ये बड़ा हो जाएगा तो इसको मान लो कि मैं दी। He said, what is this ridiculous? Because they said this. They said Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, his son was not Abdullah. And his mother was, you say, Chirag Bibi. His mother should be Amina. और चौधरी साहब बैठे हुए थे वहाँ पर, उन्होंने कहा कि देखें थोड़ी देर इंतज़ार कर लें, ये मेरे बेटा जो मोहम्मद है ना बड़ा हो जाए, क्योंकि मेरा नाम अब्दुल्ला है, मेरे बेटे का नाम मोहम्मद है और मेरी बीवी का नाम आमिना है। ये थोड़े से बड़ा हो जाए ना, फिर इसको मेहदी मान लेना। This is how he silenced those people. I will narrate another example. I have lived the better part of my life in Africa, in Sierra Leone. The president of this, Maulana Khalil Mubashir Sahib, is also from Sierra Leone. We have both spent many long years. In Sierra Leone, there's a huge river called the River Seva, Bojibu ke saath, near Bojibu. And there was a paramount chief called Chief Gasimu. Qasim naam tha, to usko Gasimu kaha karte the. And there was a huge river that was passing. The Jamaat sent many missionaries because it is a custom in Sierra Leone in Africa that if you are able to convince the paramount chief, a number of people can come into the community. And so a number of people, so they went and many missionaries went over there and he did not accept. They were walking near the bank of the river and Chief Gasimu said, look, don't waste your time on me. If this river even starts running down upstream, you see this river running downstream. Even if the river starts running upstream, I will never believe. Don't waste your time. The Jamaat sent an old missionary and he went over there and he preached to him. And this Chief Gasimu later wrote to our missionary, he said, sir, the river Seva has started flowing in the opposite direction. I have become an Ahmadi. Through
Nara Takbir. Nara Takbir. Islam Ahmadiyat. Musre Insaniyat. Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa. Nara Takbir.
Pasuriba Bangura sent an old missionary who did not have much education. You have to have a communion with Allah Ta'ala, a relationship with God the Almighty. Then your voice becomes heavy. It pierces through. It zeroes in to the target. This paramount chief wrote a letter to our missionary that, sir, the river has started flowing in the opposite direction. I have become an Ahmadi. And then in those days, in the early 50s, he contributed more than 1,000 British pounds for the opening of a press in Bow. 1,000 pounds in those days was a huge sum of money. Maybe equivalent to 40,000 pounds in these times. And this is how he gave so much by the grace of Allah. I have my grandfather used to narrate. हमारे दादा जान उसको मियाँ जी कहा करते थे. बहुत दफ़ा उन्होंने सुनाया मुझे कि when our father was going for the first time to Africa, he lost his, the luggage was booked in the luggage van, luggage train. And somehow the receipt was lost. And Maulvi Sahib was to travel the next day by ship. And my Miyaji was telling my father every now and Nazir Ahmed, Bilti the receipt gum ho gayi hai. Saman kis tarah loge? I have lost the receipt. How will you get the luggage? Maulvi Sahib did not talk. Miyaji said 2 or 3 times. Then Miyaji used to say that Maulvi Nazir Ahmed confronted me and said, Miyaji, if my luggage stands in my way, I will kick it into the sea. This is the level of devotion. This is the level of our Ahmadis. There was another man called Sheikh Hadruddin. Sheikh Hadruddin was a great scholar who was not only the Justice of Peace in Freetown, but he also received the member of the British Empire. He's a very powerful person, a very great scholar. When Maulvi Nazir Ahmad Sahib Ali went to Freetown in 1939, and there was a public meeting, and the meeting was held, and he was the chair. This Haideruddin was the chair. And in his concluding remarks, instead of saying something good about the lecture which the Maulvi Sahib had given about the coming of Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, look, I have more knowledge than you all. This Indian Haji is a liar. The Mahdi and Messiah has not yet come. Don't fall into the trap of this false man, and don't listen to his words. He said, instead of believing in this false Messiah, I would prefer that I become mad and I lose my senses so as to avoid listening to this man. That is what he said. Not long afterwards, a few months afterwards, Sheikh Haideruddin Sahib lost his senses, became mad, became a lunatic. He was imprisoned in his own house. And after about 2 or 3 years, he died a miserable death. His own son, his only son, who opposed the Ahmadiyya Jamaat, he also died in his very young age. His grandson, only grandson, who also attended our Ahmadiyya's primary school, he misbehaved and tried to poison our missionary Maulvi Muhammad Siddiq Sahib, and he also died at a very young age. Allah Ta'ala wrapped down the entire family. Inna shaniya ka huwa labtar. The whole family was wiped down from this earth. In Ghana, there are no earthquakes. Very difficult. Very few earthquakes in Ghana. When Maulvi Nazir Ahmad Sahib Mubashshir was a missionary over there, he was preaching and he told them about the coming of Masih Maud. They said, well, the coming of Masih Maud, it should be preceded by an earthquake. So they did not listen to him. Maulvi Sahib said that I reclined, and I reclined to my place and I said, I begged to Allah Ta'ala that, oh Allah, you have sent the Messiah and you have sent the Mahdi, and they are asking now for an earthquake. वो ज़ल्ज़ले की ख्वाहिश कर रहे हैं कि ज़ल्ज़ला आएगा तो फिर हम समझेंगे. एक हफ्ता नहीं गुजरा था तो जुमा और हफ्ता के इतवार को शदीद ज़ल्ज़ला आया गाना में. उस वक्त उसका नाम गोल्ड कोस्ट था, और वो कहते हैं कि उसी वक्त 180 बंदों ने बैत कर ली.
नारे तकबीर, हजरत मोहम्मद मुस्तफ़ा, इस्लाम अहमदियत, इस्लाम अहमदियत, नारे तकबीर.
We have got a gigantic task. It's not our concern. The Ahmadiyya Jamaat is bound to prosper. It is bound to prevail. The pertinent question is, what is my share? What have I done? What is your contribution? That is the question. We are all, on a belt, and we're all going to our graves. If not today, tomorrow. What have we done? What have we achieved? That is the question. As far as the spread of the Ahmadiyya Jamaat is concerned, we are just concerned. हज़रत मसीह मौद जैसे मैंने कहा ना, लिखा है, खाकसारी को हमारी देख ए दानाए राज, काम तेरा काम है, हम हो गए अब बेकरार. फिर फरमाया, ऐ मेरे प्यारे फिदा हो तुझ पे हर जर्रा मेरा, फेर दे मेरी तरफ ऐ सारबान यकी मुहार. We should pray to Allah Ta'ala. जो मुस्तर की दुआ है वो जरूर कबूल होती है. अम्मा युजीबुल मुस्तर्रा इज़ा दुआ हो فَيَكْشُوَ أَن يَجَلُوا لَكُمْ خُلَفَاءَ الْأَرْضِ. Who answers the prayers of the distressed person? If we pray in distress, when we are really agitated, if we pray to Allah Ta'ala, they're all sitting over here, mostly from the Asian subcontinent, longing for that day when that prophecy of Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, that many nations every nation will drink of this fountain. So it's our duty that we should try and proclaim and present with wisdom the message of Ahmadiyyat. It is to be done with prayers. Our coat of arms is the prayer. Maulana Nayyar Sahib, who was a missionary, and he went to Nigeria, and after a short while, a telegram was sent to Hazur, which was announced at Jalsa Salana, and the telegram was, please accept the bath of 10,000 people. Maulvi Nayyar Sahib also said that a missionary should have, he made sort of, they said, the 7 P's of Nayyar. नैयर की 7 अल्फाज हैं जो जिनका पी के साथ ताल्लुक है और वो तबलीग के लिए हर मुबल्लिग के पास होने चाहिए. फिर उसके बाद इस अल्फाज में और भी इजाफा किया गया. मौलवी नज़ीर अहमद सब अली ने किया और मुबल्लिगीन ने किया. तो वो उनके नाम मैं ज़रा पढ़ देता हूँ आपको. One of them was prayer. दुआ के बगैर ये काम नहीं हो सकता. Prayer. The second was that we should preach. This is the coat of arms of a missionary, and you are all missionaries. The second is piety. अगर तकवा नहीं है, हर एक नेकी की जड़ ये तकवा है, अगर ये जड़ नहीं, सब कुछ रहा है. अगर ये जड़ रही, सब कुछ रहा है. So piety. He said a missionary should have a close contact with the press. P, press. And then he said a missionary should take care of his passport. मुबल्लिग के बाद अगर पासपोर्ट ना सही हो, फिर उसने कहा कि मुबल्लिग जो है, he should have good contact with the police. P with police. And then he said also with the postmaster, because otherwise your letters would not reach at the proper time. And then also he should have contact with the priest. उनके साथ भी ताल्लुक होने चाहिए. A मुबल्लिग should be passionate. P for passionate. There should be perseverance. You should not lose hope. Once Sir Zafrullah Khan came to our Talimul Islam College and he gave a lecture, a 40-minute lecture, and the only subject was perseverance. You never lose hope. You fall once, you try again. You fall once, you try again. Don't give up. Perseverance. Then punctuality. If you are not punctual, we lost a very good Ahmadi who wanted to become an Ahmadi. When he came to our mosque, the punctuality was not being observed. A missionary needs to be very punctual. And another was that he should be patient. He should show patience. Sabr ka sabut de. और इन बातों से घबराए ना. अल्लाह ताला मुझे भी और आप सबको इस बात की तौफीक अता करे कि ये जो काम है, आज भी हजूर का जो खुतबा था, इसी मौजू पे था. We will continue to face opposition. The opposition is bound to come. But there's no opposition. You know what happened? People who oppose the Ahmadiyya Jamaat, you know what happened to them. They try to destroy the Ahmadiyya Jamaat. You remember that video is on the phone where the 6 heads of state are sitting in line and they are planning that Ahmadiyya should disappear from the face of the earth and at least should be declared as non-Muslims. Look at what happened to Faisal. Look at what terrible happened to Gaddafi. Are there chances? What happened to all the others? Ziaul Haq? What happened to all those people who were sitting over there? Is it chances? मुझसे हर एक ने वार वार किया अपने रंग में, आखिर जलील हो गए अंजाम जंग में। कहां मरते थे पर तू नहीं मारे। May Allah Ta'ala bless us all, and may we rise from this Jalsa Salana. May we benefit from the addresses of this Jalsa Salana. This is a very important gathering. We should go out from this Jalsa Salana and our level of communion with Allah Ta'ala, the level of our rendezvous with God the Almighty, the level of our union with God the Almighty, the level of our grafting with the God the Almighty should be at a higher level. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. People have spent thousands and thousands of dollars in order to come and attend this Jalsa Salana. The Jamaat has spent a colossal amount for this Jalsa Salana, and if we just go out without benefiting from the scholarly speeches, and we do not gain any higher level of taqwa, then we only have to blame ourselves. As they say, you can take a horse to the river, but you can't force it to drink. Jazakallah and Assalamu alaikum.